For step-by-step instructions and pictures, visit rav4gen5.com. This is the 2020 Toyota Rav4 Adventure. In this video, we're going to install an 8-switch panel that will be an improvement over the single switch we had in our last video for our side shooters. This is compatible with all trim levels of the Toyota Rav4 series, but if you have a hybrid, your installation is going to be different. This kit comes with everything you need, including a fuse and relay box altogether. Comes with a circuit breaker for up to 60 amps. Comes with mounting hardware. This is probably some wires for the switch panel. We have our 8-button switch with blanks that we will install stickers on. This is some other wires that we'll figure out what it's for. We have our power and ground cable that will connect directly to the battery. Then under all this we have our stickers. Gives us a bunch of options to include on our 8 buttons. And most likely I'll be using the ones that have something to do with the side switch and the grill light whenever I get around to it. So inside of this assembly, under this cover over here, we have the relay circuits, and then we have a variety of fuses depending on the install you're going to do. This is where we connect our ground and power. Over here we have connections for our input of our accessories. Conveniently on the cover we have spare fuses just in case. So looking in the engine, there's not a lot of places to install this, so I decided to go with right on top of the fuse box while still allowing wires to hang off the end. We'll direct the switch cable through the firewall like we did with the last video. We'll be screwing this assembly onto the fuse box, but we have to be careful not to hit the spare fuses that are located under this cover. First thing I'm going to do actually is to put some double-sided adhesive so it doesn't slip while I drill this onto the fuse box. When I put the assembly onto the fuse box cover, I want to make sure there's room for wires to come out when I make my accessory installs. With the double-sided adhesives, I almost don't have to drill, but just in case we're going to mount it properly. I start with small drill bits and I increase until I get to the right size. I don't want to risk cracking this box. Now we'll finally secure the assembly with the nuts and bolts that were included in this kit, and you can see we did not hit the spare fuses located on the cover. Next we're going to wire our short positive wire from the battery to the circuit breaker. You want to use a long wire from the circuit breaker to the assembly. Before you do this, do remember to disconnect your negative from the battery just in case your positive wire touches somewhere it shouldn't. Next we'll connect the long red wire from the circuit breaker to the assembly. For additional safety, keep the circuit breaker disconnected during this install. Now we'll go ahead and connect the ground wire from the negative of our battery to the assembly. This is a tight area, so I'm kind of figuring out what's the best way for this wire to go. The next step, we're going to send the switch wire from our assembly through the firewall like we did in the last video. I'm actually going to go inside the vehicle this time and push the wire from inside outwards and then pull it myself. You can kind of see it coming out of the wall. With the switch wire pulled, I adjust the grommet to make sure it's sealed back into place. For better organization of this wire, I'm going to remove this cover from the back of the engine that I found. I will hide the wire behind this. Now we will send power to the switch panel with this red wire. The white wire is used to adjust the brightness, which I will not use. In order to power the panel without draining the battery, we need to find a fuse that only turns on when the car is on. I look under the fuse box to see if there's any sort of fuse we can tap into, and I found one that says USB. With one probe on the fuse and one probe on the ground, we see that there is no power. I go into the vehicle now and turn on accessory mode to see if there is power through the fuse. We are now getting more than 12 volts with the vehicle in accessory mode, which means we can tap into this fuse. This is the add a fuse wire we will use, and it is not included in the kit. The fuse that comes from Toyota is inserted into the slots that is closest to the pins. In order to run fuse wire out of the fuse box, I have to drill another hole. Now we'll organize all this wire so we can put the cover back on. Now that we have everything hooked up, we're going to test that this works by lighting up the side shooter. I inserted the ground and power wire into one of the slots, and I'm going to go inside and press with the button to see that it works. Like in the other video, the switch wire comes out of the grommet from behind the glove box. This time we have a long enough cable to bring it closer to the driver's seat. If you want it longer, you can buy an extension on Amazon. Overall, I think this is an excellent package if you want to hook up a lot of lights or accessories to your battery. It comes with everything you need from fuses to relays in a nice 8-panel switch. You can purchase a 6-button system that is cheaper, and it installs the same exact way as this. For step-by-step instructions and pictures, visit rav4gen5.com.